Right now you think this storm is trying to destroy you, but what if I told you it's actually exposing something? What if this chaos isn't your enemy? What if this pain, this confusion, this season where nothing makes sense, what if it is actually God's surgical tool cutting away everything that was never meant to be part of your story? See, we spend so much time praying for God to stop the storm. God, make it end. God, take this away. God, I can't handle this anymore. But storms don't just destroy. Storms reveal, they strip away the facades, they blow off the masks, they expose what's really underneath when everything comfortable gets ripped away. And sometimes that's exactly what we need. Job went through hell, lost everything. His wife told him to curse God and die. His friends accused him of secret sin. Boils covered his body. His wealth vanished overnight. But in Job 42:5, after the storm passed, he said something that'll rock your world. My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. The storm didn't just take things from Job. The storm brought Job to something. It brought him to a place where he could actually see God instead of just hearing about him. Your storm is doing the same thing. Right now, you're looking at what's being torn down, what's being taken away, what's falling apart. But God is looking at what's being built up, what's being revealed, what's being exposed that you couldn't see before, that toxic relationship that finally ended. God exposed that it was holding you back from the person He's calling you to become, that job you lost that felt like the end of the world. God exposed that you were settling for security instead of stepping into your purpose, that health crisis that shook you to your core. God exposed that you were trusting in your own strength instead of His, that financial struggle that's keeping you up at night. God is exposing where you have been finding your identity in what you have instead of whose you are. See, in the calm seasons we get comfortable, we get complacent, we start thinking we're in control, but the storm strips all that away, and when everything you thought you could depend on gets shaken loose, what remains is what's eternal. What remains is what's unshakable. What remains is what God has planted inside you that no storm can touch. Hebrews 12:27 says it like this. The words once more indicate the removing of what can be shaken, that is, created things, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. God isn't shaking your life to hurt you. He's shaking your life to show you what's permanent. He's exposing the difference between what you thought you needed and what you actually need. He's revealing the gap between who you thought you were and who you really are in Him, that storm season you went through last year. Look back. What did it expose about your strength? What did it reveal about your faith? What did it uncover about God's faithfulness that you never knew before? I'll bet you can point to breakthrough that came through the breakdown. I'll bet you can identify growth that happened because of the pressure. I'll bet you can see character that was forged in the fire. That's not coincidence. That's God's method. He doesn't waste your pain. He doesn't overlook your struggles. He doesn't ignore your storms. He uses them, every single one. Right now, in whatever you're facing, God is exposing the lies you've believed about yourself. God is exposing the fears that have been controlling your decisions. God is exposing the relationships that were draining your peace. God is exposing the habits that were stealing your joy. God is exposing the mindsets that were limiting your faith. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, you want it to stop. But don't you dare ask God to stop what He is exposing until you see what He is revealing. Because on the other side of this exposure, on the other side of this uncomfortable season where everything hidden is coming to light, there's a version of you that's been waiting to emerge. There's a faith that's been waiting to be tested. There's a strength that's been waiting to be proven. There's a purpose that's been waiting to be unveiled. The storm isn't your punishment. The storm is your preparation. It's preparing you for levels of blessing you couldn't handle in your current state. It's preparing you for assignments you couldn't complete with your current mindset. It's preparing you for a testimony that will change lives you haven't even met yet. So stop fighting what God is exposing. Start thanking Him for it. Thank Him for loving you enough to not leave you the way you were. Thank Him for caring about your future more than your comfort. Thank Him for seeing potential in you that you can't even see in yourself. The storm is temporary. What it's revealing is eternal, And what God is exposing in this season is about to become your greatest testimony. Trust the process. Trust the God who's orchestrating it, because what He's exposing is exactly what needed to come to light.